Scott, this is good news. EA Star Wars strategy game still in development following Respawn's cancellation. It's a weird take, though, isn't it? Jordan Midler over VGC. The Star Wars strategy game currently in development by Bit Reactor will continue despite recent layoffs at publisher EA. That's according to a post from the developer on X, following the news that Respawn's first-person shooter was canceled this week. Scott, I gotta stop, dude, and go. You picked a strategy game over a first-person shooter, one of the hottest genres ever.
Done by Respawn, one of the best trusted game developer for shooters. It really does boggle the mind. If you can't trust Respawn to make a shooter money out of Star Wars, I don't know if there's much choice or much hope for Star Wars.
So then I go, there's got to be a reason behind this. Let's get into the rest of the article, and then we're going to break it down, because I got a couple thoughts on this. It wrote, last week was difficult for the industry, and more so because our strong relationships within the other teams at Respawn. But for those asking, we are still working, still hard at work, and our game was unaffected by last week's news. End quote. Little is known about the game, which was announced alongside Respawn's shooter and the third entry in the Star Wars Jedi franchise. Respawn's now canceled game was announced in 2022. The game was being helmed by former LucasArts veteran and Medal of Honor co-creator Peter Hirschman, who previously worked on the original Battlefront games, The Force Unleashed, and more. Dude, that one stings.
That could have been so good.
It's just, you're gonna pour a little bit more salt on that open wound of yours, and then rub it in, right? It was just, yeah. In a statement published on Wednesday alongside the announcement of nearly 700 company-wide layoffs, EA Entertainment president Laura Mealy said that after review, it had decided Respawn should focus on Jedi and Apex Legends series. Come on. Yeah, we covered that last week. If you missed that bit of news, yeah, they basically canceled their first-person shooter, but yet they're keeping the strategy game going. Scott, here's the biggest thing for me then. Was the budget for the first-person shooter just too big to match what Respawn needed in order to make their shooter versus what the strategy game is? I'm just saying, like, this is the only thing I can think of, because you're just canceled. Probably one of the best opportunities for you to keep your legacy of Star Wars going.
Yeah, the idea of the Star Wars shooter, too, is probably going to involve a lot more, mocapping and that kind of thing that would drive prices up. I could see that. But with that, a wise man once said, it takes money to make money, you know?
Absolutely. And you know, man, it is the team that brings you Apex. Scott, what is Apex again? It's a first-person shooter!
yeah, let's not forget Titanfall.
Again, first-person shooter.
This is like watching Titanfall 3 melt away again.
Exactly, right? So now we get the cancellation of that, but we still get the strategy game. Very curious as to what the strategy game is. There's no information known on it, right? We don't know anything about the game. So where does this bring us then for the future of Star Wars now? And we're gonna get, okay, I'm happy to see that we're gonna get more Jedi experiences, right? There's one more game to come. Then is there an opportunity to get that first-person shooter, or is that just canceled and gone altogether, you think?
I think it's probably canceled and gone altogether, but yeah, Dark Forces did come out as a remaster, and I'm not sure if it really swung out well. I think that might have been what could have justified another shooter, but I don't think it really did.
Man, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Time will tell, I guess, right? Like I say it all the time. Time will tell, because that's all we have to do is sit and wait. And then we sit and wait some more, but it baffles my mind that Respawn had their game canceled, because I think that sucks. I think it misses out for fans and to keep the legacy of Star Wars going over at EA. Right now, when you take a look at Marvel games, you go to where? Insomniac, right? Yeah. And when you look at Star Wars, where do you go right now? You go to Respawn, and then they cancel a first-person shooter? Man, I'm scratching my head.
They just want to bring out the Jedi series a little faster.
Was that really necessary? Nope.